Hi guys, this is the Sunburst granny square tutorial. Okay, so like in the other tutorials, I always start with a magic ring. I just find it easier, personal preference. If you like the chain method, please use that, it does work. All right, so let's get started. So I do magic ring, and then you want to chain 2. So 1, 2. Just like the daisy granny square, we're going to use half trebles to start with, but this one, it calls for 11 half trebles, so 12 stitches in total, okay, because we will end up working little, like 12 little petals all together, okay, all will be revealed. So I've done my chain 2 to build the height of the half treble for the first one, and then let's get cracking. So 11. So half treble, just to remind you, is yarn over, through, yarn over again, so you got your 3 loops, and then yarn over and pull through all 3. Okay, so that's 1. I need 10 more. 2, 3, 4. Just gonna pull my magic ring a bit loose. 5. Oh, sorry, went off camera a bit then. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Right, let me just double check. Got 1, 2, so that's 1, because that's our chain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Fab. So I pull my magic ring now, and then you want to slip stitch in the top of the chain 2 just to bring the circle together. Okay, and I like to colour change on every round. You don't have to, you can do a full, you know, the same colour, like a full granny square, the same colour. I've seen people do that and it's really effective. It's completely up to you, but just to show you the difference of the stitches, I'm going to change colour today. All right, so there we are, tied off, and then I still need to pull my magic ring a bit. Give it a good pull. There we go. So you've got 12 stitches. So I'm going to change it to cream. And you can tie on now in any stitch in the round, all right? You don't have to necessarily tie on here. I tend to do it like opposite, because then it doesn't end up so bulky where you tie off all the time. So I do a little double knot. If you use another method, then please feel free, wherever's comfortable. So let's tie on a new colour. And this round is a little puff stitch. So again, in these rounds, the first stitch is always slightly different, okay, to the rest of the stitches. So please watch this stitch and the next stitch, the first and second stitches. So to get the height of this, I need to chain 2. Okay, so 1, 2. Okay, now I'm only going to do 2 lots for the puff. All right, I know that kind of sounds a little bit like, what does that mean? But if you just take a little look, all right, to start the puff stitch, you want to yarn over, and you go in, and then yarn over and bring it through. Now we're not going to yarn over and pull through, okay? The puff stitch, you don't do that. All right, you literally just yarning over all the time and then creating and adding more loops on your hook. So I've done it once and I just need to do it again. So yarn over and pull through again. So I'll end up with 5 loops now for the first one. And then you want to yarn over and pull through all 5, okay? This stitch just gives a little bit more texture, and it ends up a bit more puffy. If I bring over the daisy, you can see here with the cluster, because you're doing half of a treble stitch, it ends up taller, whereas the puff is slightly shorter because you're just yarning over through that stitch, okay? And you're always going through the same stitch when you're doing it. So that's the first one. Now we want to chain 2, all right? And then we're going in the next one. So again, yarn over and through, but this time you're going to do it 3 times. All right, so that's 1, 2 and 3, and always bring up that yarn over to the height of the previous stitch. All right, just make sure that all of your little like puffs are the same height and they're all equal. Okay, now this one you'll end up with 7 loops, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, and then yarn over and pull through all 7. If you find it difficult, go through each one individually and be as slow as you can. All right, it's just practice. Now chain 2. Remember to chain 2 because you need that space. All right, and then every other puff is the 7 loops, pull through all 7 and then chain 2. Okay, so we need 12 in total, so let's get cracking. 1 2 3 2 1 2 3, and again be careful of your tying on stitch. You only want 12 of these. All right, sometimes you can end up with like 13, so just make sure you count in and double checking. Okay, so I'm coming up to my tying off stitch now. So how many have I got? 1 2 3 4 5. So I work from the back 6 7 8 9 10 11 12. So my next one's going to be this one, and then the one after is this one, so I need to miss out this little knobbly bit because that's my tying on loop. All right, so we've got 1 2 3, pull through all 7, chain 2, and 1 2 3, pull through all 7 loops, chain 2, 1 2 3, pull through all 7, chain 2. How many have I got? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12. Fab. Now work again. 2 3. I like this stitch, it's really simple and really effective. Like, you can get a bit caught in the loops as well, so take it slow. The more you do, again, it's just practice, like it is always with crochet. Practice. I love it, it's just really fun and it's really puffy. So you might see other Sunburst patterns and they use like more stitches in the middle. I'm using 12 because they'll end up having a like 4x4 granny, but you know, if you want more, then you just do more stitches in the middle, but always up it by 4. So the next one would be oh sorry, I'm doing the wrong stitch now. So the next, if you wanted it to go up a level, it'd be 16, then 20. Always work in 4s, seems to work best. All right, so type got my 7. See where we're going. Yeah, I've got to be caught now. Chatting there. There we go, and then chain 2, and then 1 2 3. Okay, all right, and like always, we want to chain 2 at the end and then slip stitch into the top of that chain 2. 1 2, and then it's there, so that's my chain 2 there. Go, slip stitch and tie off. Okay, love it. There we go. So let's see where we are. So we've got 1 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Brilliant. So our next round are our treble cluster stitches. So just like we did in the daisy. Alright, so I'm going to tie on in any of these chain 2 spaces. Again, doesn't make a difference. We're working in a circle. It'll all look even. So I'm doing a little double knot. 2. And then with these, if you remember, we chain 3 to start. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. And then again, the first one is always different, and then the second one is what we do for the rest. Okay, so if you can't remember, please watch these first 2 stitches. So again, chain 3, then we're going to yarn over, go in the same stitch, yarn over again, pull it through, and we're only going to yarn over through the first 2 loops. Okay, and then I'll do that one again. Okay, and once more. So we want 4 loops on our hook for the first one. Now yarn over, pull through all 4, and then chain 2, 2. Okay, now the next one we'll end up with 5 loops if you remember from the daisy. So again, yarn over, go into the next 2 chain space, and then only through the first 2 loops of those trebles. Okay, so you're collecting all those loops on your hook, and you'll end up with 5 loops now. 5, yarn over, pull through 5 and chain 2. Okay, so you'll end up with 5 loops on a hook now for the rest of them. So you want 12 again in total. Alright. Again, this pattern can be used with all of the ones that you learn on the Granny Club workshop. They're all ending up being a 4x4 granny. This one, however, if you are doing smaller grannies, it might not work because the ending row is a 4x4 granny square ending to get it into a square. If you're looking to do smaller ones, then please, send me a message and I can have a little look. Or you might be able to find some patterns online that'll end up being smaller, alright? Also remember that chain 2 in between. It's really easy to forget, but you need it for the gaps. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4 little half of our trebles, and then 5 through the 5 loops, chain 2. Start seeing it growing now, a little shape. One, 2, 3, 4 through the 5 loops. Try and tie in the end there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's see what it's looking like. We're halfway. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Brilliant. Okay, and you can start to see now, like with the daisy, we're kind of covering those 2 chains, and it's creating our little like petals from the puffs then. So I love seeing it like come to life. So on our next 4 treble cluster, 1, 2, 3, 4. Try and get these done. There we are. Chain 2. One, 2, 3, 4. Through all 5. Chain 2. And only got 2 left. So 1, 2, 3, 4, yarn over through all 5 loops, chain 2, and then we're on our last one. So you see it starts to curl, but don't worry about that, it'll all flatten out, and it'll come with the block in as well. And once we change it from a circle to a square, it tends to flatten out as well. Okay, so don't worry about that. On our last one, yarn over through all 5, and then chain 2, and then slip stitch in the top of the chain 3. Okay, and then tie off. Oh. Would help if I yarned over. Yarn over, pull through. Cool. Alright, I'm going to double check I got 12 again, just to make sure, because you never know. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Awesome. Now my last round is blue, so let's get my blue. And this is where we'll start again with the corner of the granny square, so it's chain 5. Alright, and you can pick any of the 2 chain spaces. Okay, so I'm just going to tie on with a knot here. Okay, and this round is slightly different to the first kind of squaring off round for the daisy, because the daisy is slightly smaller. You can see here we started off and we did a corner and then 1 block, a corner, 1 block, corner, 1 block. But for this we're on the last round, so we're going to start off with a part corner, 2 blocks, corner, 2 blocks, corner. Okay, so start now with your chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Get some more yarn going. Yeah, there we are. And then 3 trebles. Okay, so that's for our part of our corner. 1, 2, 3. Oh, got the end coming through. Oh, get back there. Okay, 3. Okay, now the next 2 spaces are going to be just treble blocks. All right, so 3 trebles on each one. Again, like I said on previous tutorials, if you do that chain 1 between your blocks, then please do it here. I don't, so I'm not adding them in on this tutorial, but if you do, then please chain 1 in between each one. Okay, so that's our 2 there, 2, and then we've got a corner. So the corner is 3 trebles, 2 chain, 3 trebles. 1, 2. Oh, make a wool. Yeah. 1, 2, 3. Chain 2. And then in the same space, do another 3 trebles. Okay, so you'll start to see now it's squaring off. Okay, you will always get a slight curve until you block them, but there we are. See, that's what it looks like kind of when you block it. And then we've got our 2 treble blocks in the next 2 spaces. So this is 1. So we've got 3 trebles there, then 3 trebles. Okay, and then another corner. So a corner is 3 trebles, 2 chains, 3 trebles in the next space. So 1 treble, 2, 3, and then 1, 2 chains. Oh, this this ball of wool gone? Yeah, I'm going to get some more yarn. Then 3 trebles. Okay, so that's half done now, so you can see it turning into a square, and then it's also showing these petals a bit more. It's accentuating these now as well, just like it was on the daisy. So we've got another 2 blocks in these two. 1, 2, 3. And then what comes after the 2 blocks? The corner. So it's 3 trebles, 2 chains, 3 trebles. So 3 treble. And then we got 2 chains, 2, and then 3 trebles. 1, 2. Oh, I ran out of yarn again. Oh, it's doing it to me. Okay, and then 3rd one. 3. Okay, now we're on our last 2 little treble blocks in the last 2 spaces, and then we've got our part corner to do. All right, so I'll get these blocks out of the way. So it's 1, 2. Oh, let's get that tail back. 2. Oh gosh, what's going on here? 2, 3. And then 1 in here. 1, 3. And then in the last space, we just need 2 trebles and then slip stitch in the top of the chain 3. Okay. And we're done, almost finished. Oh, done the Sunburst. It's exciting. I love this one. And it's so easy to do. You know, you look at them sometimes and you think, oh, I can't do that. But you can. It's all is possible. So I work from the top down. So I count 1, 2, and then that's going to be my 3rd. Straight in. And then tie off. There we go. Okay. And that is our Sunburst. Oh, move over it. That's our Sunburst. So again, you can see it's kind of like curved, but with the blocking, it'll all straighten out. All right, and it'll be square for you. And again, you know, we'll be covering blocking in another tutorial for you to follow. But that's our Sunburst. Hope you have fun making this one, and we'll see you in the workshops. Bye.